Success during the most critical moments of a game. As I'm sure most of you already know, a clutch moment can not just change the score in your favor, but it can serve to rally your team back together. In the most vital points of a game, if a player can somehow reign control of the naturally occurring cruel and inescapable scenarios, the result will surely be a beautiful clutch play. In today's video, that's exactly the beautiful place we're going to be taking a look at, as I take you guys through some of the most clutch moments in all of bluelock. Now, as you guys know, there are a ton of clutch moments in the bluelock series, so obviously I'm not going to be able to cover every single one. With that in mind, I want each and every one of you watching to go down and comment your favorite clutch moment in all of bluelock. Make sure to do this before the video and not after, just so you can come back and complain if I happen to skip out on yours. One more thing before we get into the video, if you remember this familiar voice and want an explanation on what happened to my cousin, make sure to join my Discord. The link will be at the top of this video's description, and I hope to see you guys there. To start off the video with an absolute banger, you already know the first moment I picked out for you guys was a fan favorite. This one takes us to one of the more recent games in the new Egoist League matchup between Bastard München and Mannstein City. Taking place at the very start of the game, we start off by seeing Isagi stalking Kaiser as he works his way up the field. The BM players are chaining passes between one another for the sole purpose of working the ball up to Kaiser. While this is all going on, Kaiser himself is actually working to creep his way through the field, avoiding all of the attention into the final play. As Grim crosses that final pass to Kaiser, the ball is actually intercepted by his own teammate, isagi yoichi. Our villainous-ass main character has tracked the ball through every pass while also watching Kaiser's every psych, because here comes Nagi's boyfriend, who anchors himself down between Isagi and the ball, effectively taking it back into Mannstein's possession. From there, Ryo proceeds to absolutely cook all of Bastard München, starting with none other than the main character himself, Isagi. This meant Isagi tries to body press him. Isagi tried to body press Ryo. I mean, this poor guy's out here looking like a Pokemon with 4 times weakness, no effect at all. After breaking away with a successful block and turn on Isagi, the next person in line to be violated steps up to the plate. Kaiser's personal tip licker, the fruitcake himself, Alexis Ness, Ness, guys. Anyways, Ness pulls up in front of Ryo talking his usual shit, joking about how he's sorry that Isagi has made so much trouble for Ryo. Ness should really focus on himself though, because after the most pitiful defending I have ever seen, Ryo becomes a 3D printer and nutmegs the little dude, effectively sunning him for good. As you all know, the saying goes that game recognizes game, because as Ryo is bending over everybody on the field, Isagi's just staring left in shock at this newfound evolution. With his new Chameleon striker mode, Ryo has been able to become a hyper-flexible striker, who no longer has to rely on Nagi 24/7. According to Ryo's direct quote here, he now actually wants to surpass Nagi and become the single best striker in the entire world. He then takes a curved shot from outside of the box that's flying straight into the top left of the net. Isagi actually realizes here, and we get confirmation that Ryo's kick was a direct copy of Ren's outside spin shot. Ren's shot, Ryo's shot. It does not matter whose shot it was, because either way, our boy Gagamaru is on the scene. No, Ren's was better. For all of you anime onlys who thought that the clutch was Ryo's, you could not be more wrong, because Gagamaru smacks that shit out of here. Not only was this clutch an amazing moment because of the Gagamaru spotlight, it just was an amazing one all around. We got Gagamaru shit-talking Ryo the entire time, even calling him a sheltered little chameleon. And we got to witness Ryo get cock-blocked while showing off his new evolution. If that's not the biggest him performance from a goalkeeper, then I don't know what is. I just also want to remind everybody that Gagamaru was a striker, just like the rest of them. He just got thrown into the goal because of his inhuman nature reflexes, and he's making saves like Ederson. Now, after a moment like that, I gotta follow up with another fan favorite, specifically for the Bachira fans. It takes us back to the start of the FC Bartra match, with Bachira just now gaining possession of the ball. Now, as we all know, this isn't the same Bachira as before, because this master striker Lavagno has helped instill Bachira with the knowledge to play both creative and efficient. With Bachira approaching his first defender, Isagi glazes him while explaining his new dribble style, noting that the main difference is how stable his center of gravity is. He's moving the ball around his feet in every direction like me trying to play FIFA against Clamp. Yet his upper body isn't leaning forward and is remaining perfectly stable. This makes it nearly impossible for anybody to read his next move, and yet he's just waiting there, not moving at all. He has an almost infinite amount of options here, but instead of moving forward, Bachira forces his opponent to make the first move. That's exactly what the Bastard Munchen's number 3 does, as his impatience gets the best of him, and he sprints forward towards the stationary bachira. No shit he gets cooked. What did you expect? Bachira's new playstyle is seemingly a more patient one, allowing him to stay perfectly stationary and preserve his energy until it's absolutely needed. When the defender marking him moves, well, they get hit with the 5-star skill move. That's just how it goes. Now next up for Bachira is none other than the edgelord Kunigami, but folks, let's just make a long story short here. He gets bitched. Compared to everybody else, Kunigami actually keeps up pretty well with Bachira's new style, but muscles alone did not give him the advantage. Gessner and Grimm are third in line for the chef, and for some reason, these randoms thought that they wouldn't get sauced like a Domino's pizza. They did. Even though Bachira didn't dribble through them, he still hits them with the most disrespectful heel lift pass to his left winger from FC Barca. The left winger redirects this pass to none other than Barca's ninja, Otoya Ida, who hits him with that Naruto Tiki-Taka no Jutsu, and also redirects the ball right back to Bachira. With 2 defenders sprinting frantically at him, Bachira leaps into the air and lets his B shot rip off, creating the ultimate finish for FC Barca's chemical reaction. The poor goalkeeper did try to save it, but I mean, he's out here looking like he's floating in space like some zero gravity, resulting in Bachira leading the match with an amazing goal. Not only did he take an early lead for his team with his first possession of the ball, this is Bachira's first and only showing of his new style. Our little schizophrenic Bumblebee just freestyled up the field, holding LB and jiggling his joystick like a frantic FIFA player. Also, shout out to Barca's winger and Otoya for being able to work with the Tiki-Taka style of Barca and the unpredictable nature of Bachira himself's play. I mean, that's probably pretty hard to do. Now listen up. This video is hitting for me, boys, and I'm the one making it, so shout out to the bluelock author for creating such a masterpiece. Y'all let me know in the comments what your favorite aspect of the series is so far. Now for the third clutch moment, what we're going to take a look at is one of my favorite moments in general from all of bluelock. Taking place also in the Bastard Munchen vs FC Barca game, we're taking it to the end game of the match. With the score tied at 2-2, it's a deathmatch to see who will score the next goal, and both teams are giving it their absolute all. Bastard Munchen's Grimm has possession of the ball, as we see him shoot off a pass, curving to its hard right, heading straight for nets. Now ladies and gentlemen, I want you to all pause the video right here and answer this question in your head for me. What is the sole strategy of Bastard Munchen? Now just think about it for a second. Stealing, theft, isagi is facing 30 years federal for this nap, because just before Ness could receive this pass, our main character decided, nah, it's actually my ball now. With possession now being his boyfriend Bachira steps up to defend him, confident the isagi won't shoot because he's out of range. Now this is where he flips the clutch switch, because isagi confidently tells his ass to shut up, because he knows his own limits. Isagi then fakes a shot here anyway, and Bachira still falls for it, as we see him stepping in here predicting the follow through. Instead, however, isagi uses a ball roll to his left out of the fake shot, effectively gaining some open space from Bachira and getting him closer to the penalty box. Now the whole time that this is happening, Kaiser and his tip-licker Ness are talking mad shit to our boy isagi, saying the most out-of-pocket things. Ness is literally laughing at this man because he believes that isagi is going to assist Kaiser with the next pass. I mean, even Kaiser believes this to be true, calling isagi a good boy for some odd reason. Yeah, and he also tells him to bow down. Go fuck yourself, Kaiser. Now, if this moment doesn't get you hype as hell, I don't know what will, because instead of becoming Kaiser's little pawn, our boy isagi has made other plans. He actually shoots off a curved pass that flies behind Kaiser, landing directly in the grasp of none other than Bastard Munchen's dark horse, Kunigami Rensuki. Now, I know you guys already know what happens here, because after popping the ball up from the pass, Incredible Hulk's orange brother bunkers down, leaving the defenders behind him helpless. With that, it was already over, because Kunigami let that ball rip like a Beyblade, sending the ball flying towards the top left of the net with immense power. Now this moment is clutch for many reasons, but the main one being that this solidified both Kunigami and isagi as regulars for their upcoming matches. Imagine how different the Neo Egoist League would have been if Kunigami didn't make this shot, or isagi messed up the pass. Also, the fact that this shot shocked both Kaiser and Noel Noah definitely proves the importance of this moment. As we sadly start to near the end of the video, I'm sure some of you guys have been scratching your head and waiting for this exact moment right here. Taking place in the Manshine City vs Bastard Munchen game, we'll pick up with Chigiri in his short possession of the ball. Although he was able to easily clear the blind idiot Yukimiya, he wasn't quite fast enough for Kaiser, who stands firm here, blocking Chigiri's turning route to shoot. Knowing that he couldn't possibly shoot in that scenario, Shigure decides to just kick off a pass to connect. On the receiving end of that, Chris Prince, their master striker, who is met with another huge threat at his front. Noel Noah, the world's best striker, is face to face with the second best player in the world, talking mad shit to Prince because, Noah's top dog around these parts. Well, not just these parts, globally. He's telling Prince that he has him on clamps, there's nowhere for him to shoot, blah blah. Chris Prince does not care. The absolute menace says, "Look, Noah, you right, there ain't nowhere to shoot. There ain't nowhere to shoot for a logical person, and Chris ain't logical, baby." This man literally enters the flow state in a match against some teenagers because of how badly this dude wants to outclass Noah himself. Finally showing off his illogical weapon, Chris Prince takes a chip shot that nobody expected, leaving Gagamaru sightseeing the night sky. Bro sees some stars, the moon, and a fucking knuckleball tweaking like it popped the perk 30. As Chris Prince states very clearly here, even he doesn't know where this shot's going. This ball's wobbling, doing backflips, taking out the trash. Really a jack of all trades kind of thing. Poor Gagamaru is contemplating life in his head here, because there's absolutely no way that he could save this shot. Is what I would have said if Isagi didn't come barreling in here, not even looking at the ball. Bro just yells out for Gagamaru to block low, as Isagi himself leaps high into the air, spreading out his body in hopes of just clipping the ball. Yeah, but he just blocked a shot from the second best player in the world, reflecting it off of the top bar with Gagamaru's help, with an all-or-nothing body wall. Now, any save of this degree would have made it onto this list, but what really distinguishes it is, once again, number 2 in the world. Not just that though, the number 2 signature weapon made to not only beat Noel Noah, but it was designed with the intent to be fully unreadable to anyone. Anyone except for Isagi, I guess, because bro just ran to the goal, leaped into the air where it seemed most vulnerable, and caught a piece of it. Really for me, this moment's cherry on top is Chris Prince's face here, because as we all know, this man is left looking baffled. After a 17-year-old kid ruined his hopes and dreams, called him a bozo, and posted up like Batman looking out over Gotham. Fuck Kunigami, Isagi's the Dark Knight these days. He is darkness. Now for the very last, but not the least, we have a moment that some of you are going to be surprised with. Those of you who know me are aware that there are only a few characters in this series that I hate with all my heart, so let me give one of them their moment that they deserve for once. In the very last moments of the Bastard Moonshine match against Manshine City, Noel Noah chooses to align himself with Isagi, helping him play like the ideal version of himself would. Now for those of you who have not read the manga, do it now, because this match is Isagi's true awakening into the man he is today. It really is an amazing 150 chapters of this match, although it doesn't even feel like an exaggeration if you waited for the weekly chapters like me. Anyways, back to it. We see Isagi get clamped down by Kaiser, who has killed the full potential of the protagonist's direct shot. By applying pressure to Isagi while he prepared for a shot, Kaiser was able to force him to stop and trap the ball there, effectively ruining the climax that Isagi envisioned and preventing his goal. Ah, Kaiser. That's perfect. If you hadn't come, I would have been the protagonist. With a back heel pass, Isagi sends a no-look pass backwards to the one that he plunged into darkness, Yukimiya. When he says plunged into darkness, he really means it too, because I think Yuki is going to need more than therapy after this game. Isagi got in this man's head so much that Yuki couldn't stop thinking about anything other than our main character the entire game. Maybe this pass was the therapy that he needed though, because Yukimiya will resurrect himself with this shot, looking all surprised with Isagi. Before anything else can happen though, you already know that Isagi had to talk that talk, literally grabbing Kaiser by the collar of his shirt. How does it feel to be the clown of my story? This is my masterpiece. Now let me rephrase what I said earlier. Isagi, Yukimiya, Chris Prince, and Kaiser should just schedule a group therapy session all together. It's probably for the best after this match. Turning to Yukimiya here, Isagi begins to antagonize and instigate him, calling him all sorts of names while urging him to shoot. Now I have never seen such S-tier instigating in my entire life, and I went to an American high school, so that's saying something. This dude literally calls Yukimiya a mud boat. A mud boat. Not wanting Isagi to decide his fate, Yukimiya shoots off his final shot for the game, vowing to not even hand his ego over to God himself. The shot flies like his normal gyro shot, with the goalkeeper actually verbally stating that he'll be unable to block this. A metavisioned up Reo confidently says that he will though, as he leaps into the goal mouth, just barely positioning himself with a second left. Yeah, nah, Reo does not have that shot locked down, because Yukimiya's shot wasn't just his typical gyro. This shot is inspired by Chris Prince's knuckleball, which has increased oblique rotation compared to his normal shot. The ball actually bounces off of the ground just outside of the goal mouth, sending it flying back upward with all of its force into the top back of the net. Yukimiya has actually done something useful for once, clutching up the game for his team, leaving the final score at 3-2 with Bastard München as the victors. Now, while this shot is and will forever be amazing, nobody is ever gonna color Yukimiya, I swear to you guys. I tried to find some colored panels for the sword screw because I figured the sword and stuff would entice people to color it, but nope. I guess Yuki is just not that guy, even if I give him a segment in my video. Anyways guys, I sincerely hope that all of you enjoyed my first video on the channel, and if you want to see more content like this, you already know the drill. Hit that subscribe button, like and comment on my videos, all that cool stuff. I hope you guys all have an amazing day, and thank you all so much for your continued support.